What does all this mean to Trump legally and financially? I'm joined now by Ankush Khardori, a former federal prosecutor and legal analyst, and Andrew Lieb, a constitutional attorney. And Ankush, I'd like to start with you. What do you make of the lawsuit? It's huge. It accuses Trump of lying more than 200 times to inflate his net worth by billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's quite a document. It's long, it's voluminous, it's very, very detailed. And it does paint a pretty a damning picture of the conduct of the Trump organization and the people who work there. I will say it is somewhat, not somewhat, it is very light on details about Trump's personal involvement in the conduct at issue. But this is a civil case. It's a much lower burden of proof. And kind of the way that the complaint was constructed is very, very consistent with these types of cases.
Andrew, valuation of real estate is inherently subjective, but the Attorney General does outline exaggerations by more than 500% in some cases. How does that fly exactly?
What a good question, Elizabeth. I have to tell you, I've been highlighting this complaint all day. It's 222 pages, and they have 170 pages in here with 23 examples in detail of what the problem is. Let me give you just one example, and this could hit home for everyone. Trump valued his own house at being 30,000 square feet, a 30,000 square foot palatial mansion. Turns out it's 11,000 square feet. And price per square foot changes the numbers is what's alleged in these documents. They say things like he had a land lease and he was land leasing the property, but it should have reset based on market conditions into the future. In all, though, what it comes down to is this document that we all know is a balance sheet. They called it a statement of financial condition in there that said, hey, this is what I'm worth. And he inflated it drastically as opposed to appraisals that he obtained that said different numbers.
Ankush, banks do due diligence. I mean, they're supposed to do their own work. Is there any evidence that these massive inflations that Trump made in these records actually resulted in lower interest rates on loans? And actually, does it even matter in terms of this lawsuit?
So that's a very good question. It is unclear. So the Attorney General suggested that it had an actual effect on the institutions that received them. I think it's much harder to suss that out from the details of the complaint. It doesn't matter, though, under the law that she has invoked and under many other sort of types of fraud laws that the government entities can use. She doesn't need to demonstrate an actual loss or a reliance on the part of the counterparties.
I was struck, Andrew, by the extent of this lawsuit, how many years back it goes. If it's true, how did Trump get away with doing this for so long?
So you're going back 11 years of these financial statements that we're talking about. And it's a very good question. How did he get away with doing it if it's true? But the answer is that when people see power and money, they want to do business with power and money. And it was in everyone's financial benefit in a way to go forward. As Ankush just referenced, in a fraud case by a bank, if they were going to sue Trump, they would have to show I relied on it. That's called reasonable reliance. But the way the Attorney General is pursuing under what's called Executive Law 63, all she has to say is you did this repeated fraud, you did illegality, and you were in this conspiracy. You were doing this against everyone. So while it's a good question, how did he get away with it? It doesn't change the fact of his exposure under the Attorney General's lawsuit.
Ankush, Trump invoked the Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself 500 times, according to the Attorney General, during his deposition on this case. She can use that against him in a civil case.
Yeah, indeed she can. So it's axiomatic that invoking the Fifth Amendment cannot be used against you in a criminal case. That rule does not apply in a civil proceeding. In fact, a jury can, and I'm sure will, be told that they're allowed to adopt an adverse inference based on Trump's refusal to answer those questions and basically assume that the answers would have incriminated him.
All right. Well, we will see how this. It's quite a suit. Quite a suit, many pages long, as Andrew just pointed out, and lots to go through. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here tonight to talk to us about it.
Thank you.
All right.